Welcome, race fans, to the Memory Lanes 175 at Talladega Super Speedway. Joining me today, I'm Gerald Campbell. My colorful commentary will be joining me later on tonight, Dr. Erica Campbell, and bringing you these beautiful shots here at Talladega Super Speedway is David Huckleberry, our producer. Always got to thank and do a shout out for our series sponsor, the Dixon Smoked Barbecue Truck Series. We're coming into the final race before the final race, I guess you would say. So the final race for these 14 drivers to lock themselves in to the final race, which is going to be 2 weeks from now? 2 weeks from now. 2 weeks from now at Phoenix Raceway. The top 5 drivers will make it in and race for a championship, but they have to get it through Talladega tonight. 2 drivers are locked in with a win, those drivers being Tate Lytle and Timothy Holmes, both drivers with a win in their column, so they will be 100% absolute in making the field for the top 5 for next week, but the other drivers are not so certain. There are a total of 12 drivers going for the final spot. If you win, you're in. That means that automatically 2 drivers will have to point their way in. Maybe 3, depending on who wins, but we know at least 2 drivers. Qualifying has just wrapped up. We're going to go over to see how the qualifying has come out here. Waiting on David to pull it back up here. Scott Crump, one of those drivers looking to try to see if they can win to get in or make it in on points. Scott Crump qualified on pole tonight. Sean Ryan in second, another one of our chase drivers. Jeff Green, he is and white, but don't be confused. White doesn't mean anything. It just means David forgot a driver on there that needed to be colored in green. Jeff Green racing tonight, making one of the few starts in the truck series. Scott Haney having a wonderful qualifying run for his start of the race here. He's starting in the 4th place. Tyler Dixon in 5th. Michael Hosack in 6th. Alex Vandersant is in 7th. Zach Evans, another one of our chase drivers. His number is in red. If you were wondering what all the numbers and colors are looking like, yellow means that they have to try to make it in either on points or a win. Green, it means that they're not in the chase. Red, like Zach Evans, can only make it in if he wins tonight. Points is not an option for Zach Evans. Cody Harrington is in 9th. Joshua Freed in 10th. Dylan Jones in 11th. Joshua Hodge in 12th. Michael Goodman in 13th. Daniel Martinez, another one of those drivers that's looking to either try to make it in on points with his yellow number or make it in on a win. Daniel Martinez is in 14th. Robert Hill Jr., 15th. Tom Bourne, 16th. Must win. Ethan Stanley, points or win. He's in 17th. Caleb Clifton, 18th. Mark Rebus in 19th. Casey Hatch, 20th. Trey Holmes, orange is,
That's not right, yeah.
That should have been in yellow, so don't regard Trey Holmes' color there. It's supposed to be yellow. He can point in or make it in on a win. Cole Merkra in 22nd. Alex Ballvance must win in 23rd. Kendall Noah, 24th. 25th, Levi Zielinski makes it in on points or a win. Jaden Ramirez in 26th. Michael Kean in 27th. Sam Batwell, 28th. Harrison Talon must win or gets in on points, is in 29th. Brody Moore in 30th. Ray Bracey in 31st. Mark Keeler in 32nd. Ethan Burrow in 33rd. Vincent Isabella, 34th. Brent Jones, 35th. Dustin Durr in 36th. Must get in on points or win. Tate Lytle going to be all the way back there. Our one driver that is locked in on a win came in tonight knowing that he has nothing to lose. And 37th. Chad Thornquist and 38th. And 39th and rounding out the field, Jeff Sickles in the back of the pack. Well, the trucks are coming around the back straightaway. They will be going green this time by. I gotta say, David, I am super excited for tonight's race. It's Talladega. This is exactly where you want to be to try to see if you can win and make it in. Anybody in this field has a chance to win. Some people have their own strategies. Some people have teammates that are going to try to help them out. And there's some drivers out there that are just waiting for the big one to see if they can make their move to the front of the pack. There's so many strategies going on. I just love it.
Yeah, I'm ready to see the carnage.
As a lot of people do when they tune into a Talladega race. Some of them just love to see the carnage, and I can guarantee you we may have a few of those tonight. These trucks out there were a handful for them. They have such a wonderful draft package. So the runs were from speed to speed was so incredible from each driver. Well, we're going to be waiting on Scott Crump to take the green flag here, and once we get back around, we will have 66 laps for the end of this race. The green flag is out, the racing gets good, and the good gets racing. One more race before the chase, and Scott Crump will lead it across the line. Jeff Green right behind him, trying to see if he can get to the back bumper and give him a big enough push to clear him, as Sean Ryan and I believe that's Scott Haney right behind him, trying to get the outside going with a big run. See a few drivers already starting to pop out. You wouldn't see that in some other series, but here in the trucks, they have such wonderful draft packages. You suspect to see a lot of three-wide racing. So I know there's a lot of drivers with different strategies here. Some are going to decide to go to the back, while others try to lead it from the start to the finish. Right now, it looks like Scott Crump has a nice push from Jeff Green. We'll wait to see if Jeff Green is able to clear himself and see if he decides to try to take the lead from Scott Crump. Coming around this time by across the finish line, it looks like Scott Crump blinking a little bit, but he will lead the very first lap here at Talladega. We didn't have time to go over it, but the stages will be 15, 30, and then the end of the race. So there are cautions at the end of the stages, and there will be points awarded to the top 10 finishers. So we will have 15 laps before the competition caution comes out. So all these drivers do know that they can make it on fuel for the end of this stage. See a few drivers starting to zigzag in and out as Sean Ryan starting to get that outside lane rolling. Looks like the 3 truck giving him a very nice push. One driver, we've seen him zigging in and out, gaining positions little by little. Already finds himself into the top 5. Daniel Martinez in the 33. You see Scott Crump go down below. I think he's decided to fall back. It's getting a little bit too crazy for him. So he's decided to fall back a little bit. That allows Sean Ryan and a few of those other trucks to clear themselves down to the bottom of the lane there. So now Daniel Martinez, he was leapfrogging all the way up to the front. Now finds himself leading that outside lane right in front of the 25 truck of Joshua Freed. So far, it's been 2 by 2. Good racing, very clean. The drivers have been timing their pushes, and we haven't seen anyone pushing in the middle of the turns. That's a no-no a lot of times, especially with these trucks and how loose the back end gets. As you see them coming around once again to take 4 laps into this race, and already the movements have been wild, to say the least. You see now the 33 is actually going to lead this lap, and he started all the way back in the 14th position. So Daniel Martinez showing that he came out with only one goal in mind, and that was to win to get himself into the chase. So now Daniel Martinez out front decides to take the lower lane right in front of Sean Ryan. See a few drivers starting to check out to the bottom of the lane there, trying to drop back. Because when they decide to wreck, it's going to be a massive one with how close these trucks get to each other. So now leading that outside lane is Joshua Freed. And behind him in that Texas Pete. I always love Texas Pete, and I always like mentioning it during these races. We do have a little spin back there. Looks like a truck went into the inside wall.
Like
Not quite sure. Alex Vanderzant, from what we're hearing, not a playoff driver. But looks like he might have gotten
got a little help from behind.
Yeah, that might have been Trey Holmes there, turned him into the inside wall. That will be the end of the night for Alex Vanderzant. No caution, though, as they continue to go around the track here. You see some drivers still trying to figure out if they want to make that third lane go. It's quite early on. Some of them may be waiting to a little further on in this race. We still have 10 laps before the end of the stage, as you see the 33 ducking and diving, deciding on which lane to try to block here, as he has now decided to take the inside lane. He's trying to get in front of that 57 machine of Joshua Hodge, as he's getting Tom Bourne right behind him, trying to push him. Tom Bourne is in a must-win situation to be able to make it into the final 5. 57 leads that time around. Texas Pete out front. Oh, 3 wide maybe. It looked like he was trying to make a look there. All that did was allow that inside lane to stack up a little bit better and get pushed back out front. So outside lane's going to need to see if they can get racked up again and make another run up towards the front of the field. Lap 6 already, and I'm halfway through losing my voice, David. This is exactly what you want as an announcer, as a race like this. I was so excited to be able to announce races for the truck series at the super speedways, because in my opinion, the best draft package is in these trucks, and they always produce wonderful racing. As you see, all the drivers are still up on the steering wheel, trying to find a way up to the front. This is pack racing at its best. Well, right now, the 33 of Daniel Martinez still out front, not willing to let anybody by. As you see the Texas Pete and Tom Bourne trying to get that outside lane rolling to the front. But we got a third lane that might be starting out there. I think that was the 32, if my eyes are correct. That's the 32 of Dustin Durr. Is that Vincent in behind him? Yes, Vincent and the 2 truck right behind Dustin Durr there, trying to get that third lane rolling. That will start to suck the momentum out of that middle lane, though. See a few more trucks deciding to go up there. Scott Crump, who dropped back, has now find himself in a curious situation, as Tom Bourne decides to try to make that outside lane work as well. He jumps out to the top to lead the third lane there. So now 3 wide racing throughout the field.
No.
This is getting involved. A couple drivers, they're still straight. Tom Bourne still making contact. He gets a little bit, and Vincent, he's still spinning. Now we got a couple trucks around. That will cause caution. I was expecting a lot bigger wreck than that, but they tried saving it. But ultimately, Tom Bourne just did not have enough trucks to lean on to keep it straight, as I think he made contact with about 4 or 5 people before finally spinning. See the 1 and the 47, Sam Batweld, both making contact. Sam Batweld hard into the inside wall. Unfortunate for Sam Batweld. He looks into these races at Talladega and Daytona as a way to try to get up front and get his name spoken about. But unfortunately for him, he will be an early retiree for tonight's race. It looks like, David, if I'm correct, there's only 1 playoff driver involved in that.
Yeah, not too bad. I think it starts there. Just really gets everything. The 1 at 16.
Yeah, that was, I believe, only really 3 drivers may have gotten a lot of contact from that. That was the 16, 1 playoff driver who is in a win to get in situation. But he really doesn't have a lot of damage either, honestly. He didn't really get any contact from anybody head on. He's got some, a little bit of damage, but overall, the spoiler's still straight. I don't see any puff of smoke. I think Tom Bourne's just fine. Wow. Go back to the very start where Tom Bourne gets completely sideways there, and you tell me, a little farther back from that, actually. Right there. If you ask me, that situation right there, pileup. Easy. Yep. Big destroyed pileup. How we only had 2 drivers really get major damage from that, those 2 right there, is beyond me. How that was it. We did see a couple other, after replaying it a little farther back, we did see a couple other drivers that got a little bit of damage there with 92 and The 6th, another playoff drivers. So there was a couple other little contacts, but overall, we still got a full field of trucks here tonight. Well, we've got 5 laps to go to the end of this stage, and I will let you know in 5 laps to go. We will have our, if you want to pull it up, David, it's our Dine and Dash Challenge question in 5 laps. It's at the end of stage 1. The Dine and Dash Challenge. Fody, who was a winner just a few weeks ago, decided not to take the $10 and have it rolled over to tonight's race. So now you go from possibly winning a $10 to winning $20 by answering tonight's question. So there is $20 for the question tonight. David, there's a lot of food I could buy for $20 for Monday. I don't know about you, but I think if $10 didn't get your didn't get you going and didn't get your blood flowing to try to win, $20 definitely is not little money. By no means for just answering a question.
No, it doesn't take much effort at all. You just throw an answer out there, and all reward, no risk.
Yeah, at the end of stage 1, I will propose a question, and you can put your answer into the chat, and you have until the end of stage 2 to put in your question or your answer into the end of into the chat, and by the end of stage 2. The questions will be finalized, so you can't put any more in. And then at the end of the race, we'll find out who wins at that point. So, yeah, I mean, all it takes is for you to pay attention at the end of stage 1, which is in only 4 or 5 laps from now. And you have a good chance of walking away with $20 for some food for tomorrow. But overall, these drivers are lining back up. We probably will have a 2 or 3 lap run to the end of the stage for points to be awarded, which there will be some drivers interested in the points tonight. Daniel Martinez is out there. He was one of those looking to try to see if he can either make it in on points or by a win. And gaining 10 points for winning the stage will definitely help his chances in both of those.
I heard in race control there's no choose cone tonight. Didn't hear why, but
it's probably for the best, honestly, because if you allowed choose cone, you'd have nothing but teammates lined up all in one lane, and you know it. So maybe splitting up.
Also did hear that Tate Lytle is playing from a wheel clipped to a countertop while sitting on 2 pillows. That's an interesting setup for him tonight. Pictures will be shared with everybody later.
And Tate Lytle finds himself in 14th. After hearing that, would you push him, David? I think I would have mentioned that after the race, because there's no possible chance I'm trying to put my bumper and hook up with a driver that's sitting on a countertop with pillows and stuff like that. No, thank you. I want to make sure the guy I'm pushing isn't gonna break his countertop and lose it in front of me. So, yeah, that's interesting. We'll have to keep an eye on Tate Lytle. He's locked in, so it doesn't matter if he goes out. It doesn't matter if he's racing on a Wii. He's out here with nothing to lose at this point. He's already locked in, so just out having fun. He didn't know if he was going to make it tonight, and we're just happy that he was. He knows his luck at Talladega is not the best, so we'll maybe in this curious situation he finds himself in, maybe is the luck he needed to finish one of these super speedway races. But the pace truck will be coming down, and Daniel Martinez will be leading us to a 3-lap run to the end of the stage here.
Any caution between now and then will be the stage break.
That is true, David. Yeah, if caution comes up before then, the race control did say that we'll finish the stage up. So either the next flag ends the stage. We'll just say that, David.
Yeah.
Well, the green flag is out. David's back on the loud pedal, and now he has the 9 on his back bumper. It looks like the 9 got a little bit of a spacing difference between him and Scott Haynes. So Scott Haynes is going to have to try to see if he can fix those restarts up and have a little better restart there, because that allowed a little bit of gapping there if one of those drivers on the outside decided to make it. Could have. But now you see the inside lane kind of stacked up a little bit nicer than the outside. We'll see if the outside lane will be able to get a run back up to the front here. So now the question Daniel Martinez has is that 9 car going to jump to the outside as soon as that outside lane starts going? And more likely the answer is yes. But you see Scott Haney already deciding to try to see if he can make that outside lane work, even without anyone out there. So Scott Haney a little ambitious with the speed of his truck. He feels very confident. There goes the 9, just as I had predicted, that he would jump to the outside to try to see if he can challenge for the lead. And he just might do so coming down the back straightaway. Right now in the middle of the turn, Daniel Martinez does now have a pusher behind him. That silver truck there, I believe that is that the 14? I believe it is. Yes, it is. Casey Hatch, 14, right behind Daniel Martinez. Lines up onto the back bumper. Already a 3-wide situation. Third line coming on strong. And it looks like Jeff Green deciding to help out his teammate there of Dustin Durr, trying to get that outside lane rolling. It didn't work out last time we saw it. But right now, Jeff Green flew to the back bumper of that 32, trying to push him up to the front. So Daniel Martinez now able to get out a little bit of distance once that inside lane started losing its momentum from the outside, essentially sucking it clean. Now the outside lane is starting to crumble away just a little bit as drivers try to find their way down. Dustin Durr jumps down in front of Sean Ryan there. Jeff Green trying to see if he can find his lane down to the middle groove as well, and does so right behind the 9 truck. So now that middle lane is starting to surge to the front, and that will put Dustin Durr, looks like he won't be clear, but it looks like he'll just be in front of Daniel Martinez coming around this turn. Still 3-wide racing as that outside lane is still trying to get going. Dustin Durr getting a very healthy shove from the 9 car as Daniel Martinez is trying to get any kind of speed lined up on that bottom groove there. They will be coming to 1 lap to go in this stage as we are 3 wide for second. Looks like Alex Valvance has decided to put his name out into the hat, and he is now leading that outside lane. 3 wide for the lead here coming late in this stage. That outside lane, very top high side, is very good down these straightaways. If Alex Valvance can be able to clear himself, we'll see if he can duck down low. He is zigzagging down the straightaway though, and that will not help with the hookup. Oh, you see the 9 give a shove in the middle of the turn, sent the 32 down to the low lane. Was lucky no one was down there other than the 33 now to the back bumper. Here they come to the end of the stage. Are they going to be able to finish it all on their wheels? That will be more of a question than anything, as it looks like Dustin Durr will come around and finish first in the stage. Daniel Martinez in third. So Dustin Durr, another one of those drivers trying to get either on points or by a win, gets 10 points to his name to help that cause for him. So Dustin Durr coming on strong there at the end of stage 1 and ends up winning stage 1 with the help of his teammate Jeff Green. Maybe they called Jeff Green in to just play devil's advocate and just try to make sure they had the field locked up with some good pushers. Definitely helped Dustin Durr there as he wins stage 1. Well, going over our top 10 right now, Dustin Durr gets 10 points. Daniel Martinez gets 9. Sean Ryan, another one of our chase drivers, gets 8 points. Alec Ballvance, another chase driver, gets 7 points. Casey Hatch gets 6 points. Jeff Green, 5. Harrison Talon, 4. Michael Goodman, 3. Vincent Isabella, 2. Tate Lytle, 1. Tate Lytle takes home the lone point in his rickety dick, whatever you call it.
What did you say?
Rickety dick. I don't know.
That like rinky dink?
There you go. That's the word I was looking for. I sort of rickety dick. But yeah, he comes up. He doesn't even get the full word for what he has set up at his house right now. So he gets his track set up into 10th place. Well, good run from Dustin Durr. as we will now go over to our Dine and Dash challenge of the night, or question. Very simple one tonight. Who will win tonight's race? We did that last race, and that seemed to be a fan favorite from everyone. They liked just being able to choose the drivers that they wanted to win. Well, you get to do it again. Choose who you think will win tonight's race, and you can win $20 if they do so. That's as simple as it gets. If you have a driver you think has this locked up and will win tonight's race, go ahead and put their name down into the chat, and you can walk away with $20. You have until the end of stage 2 to choose, so maybe you might want to wait until maybe a wreck or two happens to determine your driver, because you only get one choice. And if they wreck out, you don't get to choose again. It's not like that. You one and none. That's all it is. And right now, David, I have no idea. No idea who to pick from all this. We've had so many different leaders, and a wreck can change everything. Well, real quickly, we want to do a little shout out to our sponsors. Tonight's sponsor is Memory Lanes 175. Memory Lanes has sponsored a few races. What we have to do this because what was it?
Several of them. What are you asking?
Well, I was going to ask you what was the name that they wanted us to use for the Memory Lanes owner.
It's Randy Big Balls Walters.
There we go. Randy Big Balls Walters. They are a Athens, Wisconsin-owned business, historic building and modern-day touch. A place where young and old come together. What truly gives Memory Lanes its character is, of course, its owner and operator, Randy Big Balls Walters. Great bowling alley. If you're in the Athens, Wisconsin area, go down and have a bowl on Big Balls Walters. And you wonder why I say weird things, but yet that's in the script for me to read out. And David, do you have the other sponsors for the night? I usually have Erica, but she's having to deal with a little one here.
Premier sponsors for this event are C2 Freight. C2 Freight offers complete freight management services. They're ready to meet your needs today as well as your changing needs in the future. With thousands of qualified carriers in their database, they're every type of good, perishable foods to office equipment. Whatever you need to ship, they have access to equipment including flatbeds, double drops, vans, tankers, refrigerated equipment, heavy axle, heavy haulers, dump trucks, auto carriers, intermodal containers, and more. At C2 Freight. Our second one is Blue Egg Marketing. Blue Egg is the marketing department for small businesses. Small business owners, Blue Egg is the biggest fan. Finally, our last premier partner, Powerhouse Recycling. Powerhouse Recycling strives to offer the highest level of for each load processed time and time again. Attainable account representatives, prompt and on-time pickups, customized recycling solutions. Powerhouse Recycling as a North Carolina market leader in customer service. They believe in quality customer service before, during, and after the processing. Strongly believe through superior customer service, customized recycling, and complete transparency, they can earn their client's business, hold longevity in business. Go.
Appreciate that, David. Looking back on the points here, Dustin Durer winning that stage is a big-time move for him. That's 10 points to his name there, David. He is 6th out of the 5 drivers that are on points right now. He is the first driver out. He was minus 20 going into it behind Sean Ryan. Even though Sean Ryan still scored some decent points there, he gained quite a bit of points on Ethan Stanley, who did not get any points there. Scott Crump actually didn't get any points either, so both of those drivers he did gain a little bit of points on. So Dustin Durer gaining that was very, very important for him. Daniel Martinez, even though he technically can get enough points, he was 44 points out. Daniel Martinez really just needs to win this. Even though 9 points was good for him, when Sean Ryan decided to get a 3rd place right behind you, 1 point gain pretty much means that you need to go out and win at this point. Sean Ryan trying to get his points as well to make sure that if he was going to be knocked out, they're going to have to do it on a victory because he's not going to let them just point their way in easily. As all of our chase drivers are doing really well so far tonight. So now we had some pit strategy that kind of played out here. It looks like we have a few drivers that stayed out. Dustin Durr, Danny Martinez still stayed out there, so they believe they can get to the next stage on points or on fuel as well. As we wait for the green flag to come back out and Dustin Durr to lead us back to green, he decided to take that high side lane with his teammate there of Jeff Green. And green flag is out, and side by side didn't get a big of a run as I thought they would with teaming up on that outside lane there. Daniel Martinez has a very good run on the bottom side, and will have Sean Ryan to his back bumper. So I don't know. I think teammates should have timed that a little bit better on the outside for Do Good Motorsports. They'll have to make sure they work on that later on. But I say that, Jeff Green giving a heck of a push to the back of Dustin Durr, leaving the field a little bit there as they slowly trickle back to him. They almost got out both clear of the bottom lane, which is probably what they would have probably opted for them to try to take that lower lane. Well, this time around, it looks like another Do Good Motorsport deciding to take the outside lane with them. 3 Do Good Motorsports right outside of the outside lane there, as Michael Goodman decides to join his fellow teammates there. So Do Good Motorsports coming out tonight with one goal in mind, and that's get Danny Martinez or Dustin Durr into the playoffs, as they are all pushing that 32 up to the front. So yeah, if you're going to win this day, it looks like you're going to have to go up against Do Good Motorsports, it looks like.
Yeah, they came to play.
We see a little side-by-side 3 wide action. Someone decided to take that inside lane from Scott Haney. Trying to get an idea of who that was that decided to take that low lane there. So 0-2 and Chad Thornquist decided to make it 3 wide and put Scott Haney all the way on the outside by and close him. Well, not so normally now, as he has a few trucks decided to go out there with him, trying to make that 3rd lane work once again. Scott Haney trying to see if he can get up there and help his Do Good Motorsports teammates. Qualified very well on the 4th place team. Trying to see if he can be able to make that outside lane work, as a few other trucks decided to make that 3rd lane to the front. Chad Thornquist is one of the drivers out front right now, as we're still our two starters from the restart here still side by side. Daniel Martinez and Dustin Durr. You see now Goodman actually jumping to the high side lane to take that momentum away from Chad Thornquist in that 3rd lane. So now Goodman all the way up on the high side, now putting contention to his teammates there on the inside of him in that middle lane. Sean Ryan's been on the back bumper of the 33 truck this entire run. Gives him another good shot there. One thing we haven't seen is how hot the temperatures get in these trucks. Well, that 9 truck has been glued to the back bumper pushing, as well as Jeff Green onto the back of his team. So we'll have to keep an eye on and see how these temperatures, if they start having to look out behind their drafting department to get some air to the front noses, that may cause an issue where what we've seen earlier was right here where Sean Ryan, see if he's going to try to see if he can poke his nose out into some air. Not quite sure where his temperature is running on right now, but I would have to guess it's pretty hot. Again, you have until the end of this stage, which is on lap 30, not much longer from now. 6 laps. All you need to do is put down the driver you think will win tonight, and I'm sorry, Robert Hill, I'm not running. can't put my name down to win tonight's race. That does not work that way. I'm not winning tonight. I'm winning, but not like that. You have until the end of the race here to put down the driver you think that will win, which is one out of, right now, 30 trucks it looks like that has a shot at that. Well, once Goodman took that third lane there, he has slowed that to a halt. I don't know if that was on purpose to keep his teammates out front, or if it's just as simple as Chad Thornquist and Goodman not really working well together. So far, it's been very clean racing, 3x3. These drivers being very considerate of their pushes, not trying to get the drivers sideways. But of course, that will all go out the window when it starts to go down to what matters. Like the end of this stage, as some of these drivers are wanting to point their way in, they're going to look to try to gain as many points as possible, and that means being out front. The driver that has to start worrying here, even though we say these drivers can point their way in, and there is a deficit between the drivers that are in and out right now. Scott Crump was only a few points in front of Sean Ryan. Sean Ryan was actually on the bubble tonight. But with Sean Ryan scoring so many points in these stages so far, and Scott Crump scoring nothing at this moment, and still looking like he's not going to score anything, that will essentially put Scott Crump on the bubble if one of these drivers wins their way in. Right now, with essentially both the front of the pack is drivers that are looking to win their way in, Daniel Martinez and Dustin Durr. I mean, that's not a given, but it's definitely be on the back of my mind if I was Scott Crump. I mean, to try to maybe make my way up there, to at least try to battle for points if need be, if it comes down to it. See a couple drivers deciding to drop back. It's starting to get a little bit antsy out there. Pushing very hard now as they come this time around to be 3 laps to the end of the stage. I know Dustin Durr is probably looking in his back mirror and just wishing to see Jeff Green be able to clear himself of that inside lane so they can take the easier route and just stick on down to the yellow line. But right now, unable to do so, as Daniel Martinez has done a very good job with Sean Ryan on his back bumper of being able to make that inside lane work. Eventually here, Chad Thornquist is going to try to find a way around Goodman if Goodman's not going to get him up to the front. Chad Thornquist was making a little bit bold moves earlier on, and he might do so again if he can't get that 44 up front. Right now, it's 3x3 all the way back. Any driver gets sideways now would just spell disaster for sure. But these trucks once again proving how wonderful of a draft package they have, doing an amazing job of showing the true mechanics of iRacing here, as this is exactly what you want from a draft package to allow. Good side-by-side racing. One good pusher and one good leader is all it takes to get you up to the front. Oh, as we do see a car around. Scott Haney around 37. We got about 5 or 6 trucks involved back there. More than that now as they start to slowly collide into the pack. That will end the stage here as the caution is out, so the field is frozen as far as their running position goes. But looks like a few drivers, Scott Haney completely out of the race, done for the night, and it might have been off the front bumper of Tate Lytle. And it was so. Tate Lytle spun him around. Some weird contact there with the 62. 37 trying to avoid it. Tom Bourne involved. I'm not sure how hard. Oh, and Scott Crump involved too. Also, Scott Crump involved. You see Kendall Noah player. Robert Hill Jr. involved as well. And Scott Crump goes back up the track. Let's see if he makes any more contact with anybody. as he made some weird contact there, went inside of a truck up the racetrack, and no one else makes in contact with him, but he does have some front end damage for Scott Crump coming in tonight above the cutoff line, but just. Kendall Noah, player there, also involved. Now, it makes you wonder, Tate Lotto got involved. How much was that due to his setup playing a factor into that? Trying to be aggressive up front, knowing that he's locked in. Made contact in the middle of the turn, which is not what you want to do at a plate track in these trucks. They get too loose. As you see, another one of our drivers, Levi Zielinski there. I didn't see him get involved. He's got some heavy contact. So about 3 or 4 of our playoff drivers involved. 62 of Cole Merkert there involved. Got sideways, upside down. Completely destroyed as well. So playoff drivers that were involved, Levi Zielinski, Tate Lytle. Trying to remember who else was involved in there that was a playoff driver. Quite a few. Quite a few drivers that were playoff drivers. Race control just announced that it was a racing incident, as it was a bump draft gone wrong. Not quite sure how that works out, David. If it's a bump draft gone wrong, is that really a racing incident?
Yeah, I know. That kind of sounds like somebody was at fault. The person who made it go wrong was at fault.
Yeah, that's what it sounds. That's what I would believe. If it's a racing incident, that means they're not blaming anyone at fault. But it was a bump draft gone wrong. So unless if both parties made the fault, and I didn't see Scott Haney really doing anything other than get turned, I don't. It's just interesting. That's that's beneficial for Tate Lytle, as he won't get any points awarded to him. Not that it truly matters anymore for him. He's locked in. So now Michael Goodman now out front. Got a few drivers decided to pay strategy and staying out front again. Now, like I said, Scott Crump heavily involved in that. We will have to keep an eye on Scott Crump, as that's not going to be helpful for his chase situation.
Did you say who was our stage winner?
I did not know who our stage winner was. We were watching the wrecks and everything. Who was our stage winner there?
Do not know. I don't
know
have a way of seeing. I can reach out to an admin that I know.
Give me a second. I can probably give you an idea. Hold on. So our stage 2 winner, Dustin Durr, gets stage 1 and 2. He wins stages 2. Second in that stage was Michael Goodman, getting that third lane working. Daniel Martinez gets a 3rd place in that stage. Jeff Green, 4th place in that stage. Chad Thornquist will get 5th. Sean Ryan, 6th. Vincent Isabella in 7th. Ethan Stanley in 8th. Michael Klein in Keelan in 9th. And Zach Evans in 10th place. So Zach Evans will walk away with a single point from that. So there you go. I think that.
Well done. Thank you.
Some idea. Yeah, you're welcome. We're a team, David. We're a team.
Wanted to give him a little love on screen.
Well, it does make a difference. It
does.
Dustin Durr getting 10 points awarded to him. He gets 20 points automatically to his end of the race there. So he gains a bunch of position. Sean Ryan, though, also getting a ton of points from both stages. To go back to our point standings, if you want to pull it up before this race, give you time here. This was our point standings before this race. Sean Ryan was on the cutoff line there in 5th place. He was 28 points above the cutoff line. Only 44 points above the cutoff line was Scott Crump. He just got damaged, and he scored 0 points in either stage. Dustin Durr in 6th just gained 20 points on him. So now Dustin Durr is only 24 points behind Scott Crump. But Sean Ryan has essentially passed Scott Crump with the points that he's gained in the stages. So now Scott Crump is on the cutoff line. Where's Ethan Stanley on track right now?
He run tonight?
I don't even see him
there
on
he
the
is.
track.
Yeah, there he is.
No,
He's
there
in third currently.
He's third currently.
Yeah.
I don't think he gained any points either. But Scott Crump will definitely be the driver that is on the cutoff line there. So what plays a factor into that is if any of these other drivers you see running in those positions behind 6th place, any of those drivers gets a win, essentially Scott Crump would be the one that's kicked out at the moment. So points are still a very big factor in all this. Well, pace car is off. We'll be going back to green here once again with Dustin Durr leading the bottom line and Chad Thornquist getting that outside lane going. He actually gets such a good start there. I don't know if that was to his benefit as he clears himself. Wow, what a strange start for all these drivers. They are very spaced out. So now we'll find out where these drivers are going to line up because this is not a normal restart because you can see usually you want to time it with drivers behind you, but everyone decided to take that outside lane there behind Chad Thornquist. So I guess maybe Chad Thornquist knows what he's doing. As they are all trying to line up on that outside lane there. Chad Thornquist is now leading with Ethan Stanley right behind him. Now Daniel Martinez, with the help of Vincent Isabella, is trying to get that inside lane working to try to get up to the front with Zach Evans right behind the 2 truck there.
Zach's doing a really nice job of trying to be up front since he has to lean to get in. It's about the most I've seen him run up front all year.
Well, he had some damage too with one of the wrecks earlier on, so he had a little bit of damage. So that's not going to help him. I don't know how his drafting will be, but when you're tucked up behind the driver, it helps nonetheless. So I don't know how his truck will be in clean air, but where he is at in this point in the stage behind another driver, it's not going to hurt him. He's too off bad there as he's now finds himself in the 5th position, 3rd in line on that inside lane, but you see the damage on the door there. As Vincent Isabella gets the 33, a little loose going down the front straightaway. Vincent Isabella pushing hard in the back of Daniel Martinez. Trying to get himself clear to see if he'd be able to make any kind of move for the lead. Starting to work up there once again. Tate Lytle and Scott Crump trying to get that outside lane work. Both of those drivers involved in the wrecks earlier on. I'm surprised Scott Crump's car had that much speed in it after having all the contact he did. A lot of left fender damage, but nonetheless behind Tate Lytle trying to get that outside lane working. So here we go again. They seem to be able to get side by side with the lead, but clearing is another story. It's almost like the air plays a factor in kind of slowing up. As soon as you get out to the front of the field, it slows up so much that it equals out to where these drivers are all just side by side. No one can really shoot out in front.
Oh,
contact. As you see, the 2 truck made contact with Chad Thornquist. They are starting to space out. Contact in the middle of the field. Sean Ryan involved, and I think that was Goodman as well. No caution from that as they both spun out below the yellow line. But that is not good news for Sean Ryan, as now he will be fully back in the field there. I don't think he made any contact to the wall, as it looks like Goodman was the only one to make any hard contact from there. But as soon as you see all those trucks starting to go wide and make evasive maneuvers there, it just allowed more contact to be made further back in the field. So now Sean Ryan's got to pray for a caution, or he is not in a good position. Not when his competitors have gained so many stage points and are up at the front of the field. So Sean Ryan really hoping that a caution will occur so he can get caught back up at least to play a factor. As you see, a caution is just that we might get here, as these drivers are 3 wide once again and zigzagging down the straightaway. It looked like Vincent Isabella was trying to get started into the middle lane there, made contact with Chad Thornquist and shot Chad Thornquist up there. So probably Thornquist ain't too happy about the move that the 2 truck just made, but nonetheless, they are still battling for the lead here, as Vincent Isabella now leads the inside or the middle lane. Danny Martinez is just very content on being on that very bottom lane there, leading the inside lane, as now he has a driver that a lot of people enjoy seeing up front there. Brent Jones finds himself behind Daniel Martinez in the inside road there. So Brent Jones trying to also run well for his Do Good Motorsports team, and now finds himself up near the front of the field here. As you see these drivers zigzagging behind the lead driver, that is a scary moment, as just a wrong bit of contact will cause a big pileup. We keep saying that. We've seen contact. We've seen drivers get sideways, but we have yet to see the quote-unquote big one. We've seen maybe about 4 or 5 trucks involved, but not the 10, 15, 20 car packs pileups that you normally see from these super speedways. Now Vincent Isabella trying to get that very high lane. He's not content in any lane. It's like he now finds himself all the way up on the high side there with the guy that he shoved up the racetrack tucked in behind him. I don't know if I would want the guy pushing me that I just
that's
pushed
pretty
out of the
trusting,
way
isn't it?
himself. Yeah, that's pretty trustworthy there of Vincent, as looks like Dustin Durr decides to jump in front of Vincent Isabella to try to get that high lane working. And then looks like all of them are starting to drop back a little bit from that inside or that middle lane there, as the keyboard warrior of Tate Lytle now finds himself in the middle lane leading him. Maybe that's all Tate Lytle needed, was just not give a crap and just have the worst setup known to man and just go out there. Well, he's got a pillow that he says he has his setup on, so if he wrecks, he can just cry into the pillow.
There you go.
So,
it's his crying pillow.
Yeah, it's his crying pillow. He's got it ready just in case. So now he leads that middle lane group there. You don't normally see Tate Lytle take risks this early on, trying to go up to the front, but with a win being locked in with nothing to lose, Tate Lytle is just out here having a good time. It's Dustin Durr and Vincent Isabella starting to fall back a little bit from that very top lane there. So right now in our top 10, we have quite a few playoff drivers trying to get themselves in. Daniel Martinez, Dustin Durr, Zach Evans, Alec Baldwins, Ethan Stanley. All these drivers are trying to win to get themselves in. And that's why we say that this is so important for these drivers. This is the final race before the 5 are selected to race at Phoenix. So it comes down to this, really, for some of these drivers. Their season depends on the luck of the draw and who is there with you at the end of this race to push you. So with a lot of bullets in the barrel, to say this, to kind of put it lightly, there it's all the bullets in the barrel for any of these chase drivers to get in on a win. You can't leave it to that for Scott Crump. He's got to try to get up there as well. So, the chances of a playoff driver winning in is highly likely at this point.
Yeah, Sean Ryan's way back in 29th now.
Yeah, Sean Ryan, another driver that also is not happy about the situation he's seeing, as all of his competitors that can win and get in are all up at the front right now. So Sean Ryan, one of the drivers that's kind of it's out of his hand at the moment. He's got to hope for a caution to get himself back into the kind of position to fight for it.
And maybe a caution that takes a few of them out.
Caution may take a few of them out. At this point in time, we've said that in multiple situations where we've seen a driver get sideways, but it hasn't resulted into the big takeout yet. But there are still a few laps to go before we decide if that's going to be the case tonight or not. As you see that inside lane starting to get some momentum working their way, starting to clear that middle high lane. So that 89 truck is doing a splendid job pushing the 33 out front. Dustin Durr has fallen back a little bit with Vincent. So yeah, that inside lane is with Daniel Martinez, Zach or Ethan, or is that Ethan? No, sorry. That's Zach Evans and Alex Ballvance. Those four drivers are all starting to push their way up to the front on that bottom lane. So the inside lane is starting to boogie right now. The question comes down to it. I don't know the answer to it. Is are they going to have to pit again?
I would think that the only time they're coming in is if we get a caution. I don't think anybody's going to give up track position. I don't think they need to.
They don't need to. That's what
I don't think they need to.
I'm not sure what the fuel strategy or the fuel is.
It would be odd for Chad to set up a race that didn't have a green flag stop.
So that's kind of what's got me questioning, because they essentially have 33 green flag laps, and I'm not sure what the fuel strategy is. As you see, some of these drivers starting to space out, which leads me to believe that some of them may be in fuel conservation. So that's another factor to tonight's race. Is someone going to try to make it in on fuel? Can they make it on fuel? I'm not sure of the fuel situation there. Right now, Dustin Durr finds himself back out front with Daniel Martinez to the inside of him. That's been a common theme all night. The 33 and 32 side by side in the lead. As you see there, the 56, the Tate Lytle, get the 32 all out of whack down the straightaway there. And now the 2's on the back bumper, and the 56 is going to concede the spot to Vincent Isabella, but that really broke up all momentum in that outside lane there. So now our top 5 drivers on the inside lane all clear themselves, as once again Dustin Durr is going to try to get help with Vincent Isabella to get back up to the front there. Tate Lytle taking the very high lane. I believe that's with Trey Holmes and Robert Hill Jr. As those 3 drivers try to team up to get back up to the front, taking the very high lane. 3-ride racing has been very common scene tonight, and we're very thankful for that. It's been very good entertainment racing for us in the broadcast booth, as well as anyone watching. See Tate Lytle starting to make his way up, inching closer and closer to the front. He's now side by side in the lead. Dustin Durr can go down if he wants to, if he so chooses, and he does not. He allows Daniel Martinez to be able to get back to the inside of him. So now it truly is a dog race down the back straightaway. With 20 laps left to go in this race, it's anybody's guess as to who's going to win. There are still 28 trucks on the lead lap. Last driver is Sean Ryan back there in 28th. He got spun earlier on and is trying desperately to make sure he has enough speed to stay in the lead lap and hope for a caution. As you did see, the 56 cut all the way from the outside lane to the inside in front of the 33. So now we have a change up for the inside lane as far as leaders go. So now it's the 56 out front, but Dustin Durr is going to try to quickly clear himself of the 56 and doesn't do so just yet. So now that puts Trey Holmes out on the top, leading the third lane there. A little bit of contact there we see as Robert Hill Jr. taps the wall down the back straightaway. loses some momentum on the 88 there. So now the third lane is going to start to dissipate and lose all its momentum. So now it'll go back to a 2-lane race. As I'm still wondering if these drivers are fading, because I'm not seeing a lot of pushing and shoving to get back up front as we saw earlier in the race. Tate Lytle still leading the race here. Dustin committed to the middle lane with Vincent Isabella and his teammate of Jeff Green in the third spot in that outside row. Coming to 17 laps this time by. This has probably been the only point in the race these drivers have had a chance to actually take a break and have a breath of anything. Am I right, David?
It could be the calm before the storm, but yeah, they're all taking a deep breath here.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. This might just be shaping up for them to make a very hectic run to it at the end here. As all these drivers are just probably playing out in their minds what they have to do to win this race. But Dustin Durr trying to get that outside lane rolling still. Has been committed with Vincent Isabella right behind him. See, if I'm Vincent Isabella and I'm his team captain, teammates or anything like that, telling him the situation right now, he's got to hope for no cautions at this point. He doesn't need to win it, because he might just beat Sean Ryan on points as they run right now. Even if he doesn't win it, he's still got to finish fairly high up there. But just make sure you finish, and he might have a chance at winning. But then again, you're in a fantastic position to win it, and in an elite, you don't have a lot of chances at winning. And any chance you get, you got to take it. So I don't know exactly if I was one of his teammates, what I would be telling Dustin Durr right now. But right now, he's definitely got it going in his direction. Tate Lytle with nothing to lose tonight. Just running up front. Just happy to not be involved in the wreck right now. It's probably Tate Lytle. But we still have 15 laps to decide if that's going to be the case. And Jeff Green's been quiet for most of the night. He's just been playing good teammate for Dustin Durr. Good motorsports teammates. But always expect to see Jeff Green try to make some effort to get up to the front. It looks like we have someone joining us here. It's Kyle Walgren. Oh, nope, he left. Someone joined the booth and then really quickly realized he wasn't meant to be in the booth. So I thought I had someone up here to give us some commentary there. As we see now some moves being made at the front of the field, as it looks like Daniel Martinez decided to try to make it 3 wide, did not want to stay behind Tate Lytle. And now 32 and Vincent Isabella had the run to be able to clear for the inside lane and do so. So now Daniel Martinez finds himself back there in the middle groove, now with Tate Lytle deciding that, nope, you're going to still be behind me, and jump now in front of Daniel Martinez. So now Daniel Martinez and Tate Lytle do a swap over. Now Vincent Isabella and Dustin Durr are on the inside, Daniel Martinez and Tate Lytle to the outside. That was very coordinated if they were trying to do that. Very impressive how they got that all switched around without any of them losing any positions. They somehow went from the inside to the outside and outside to the inside, all within about a turn. So, if they were trying to do that, that was very impressive. Daniel Martinez shoving real hard to the back of Tate Lytle there. Almost got him sideways. Surprise, that didn't break his countertop, as he was able to wheel it and stay straight there. Now Jeff Green, realizing those weren't the drivers he was trying to push, decides to go back to the inside lane, leaving that one dry. Looks like Robert Hill Jr. will take over behind Daniel Martinez and Tate Lytle.
Hey, isn't he the guy who picked you to win?
Yeah, very, very nice for him to pick me to win. There's still time for me to get out there. Maybe next season, David, I'll jump into a couple of these races. I just been enjoying it so much with everyone and watching all these truck drivers giving it their all every race, and it's been a lot of fun watching it all play out. As a new player is now up to the front of the field here, Trey Holmes, another one of those drivers trying to race his way in, now finds himself leading the outside lane there. So Trey Holmes now in the 88 truck is going to actually clear himself and duck to the inside lane just barely in front of Dustin Durr, and is now leading the front of the field. So Tate Lytle and Daniel Martinez are still pushing to try to get that outside lane with some momentum. As here we come to 11 laps to go in this race. This is what the season comes down to for a lot of these drivers. 11 laps to play out to see if they are going to race for a championship 2 weeks from now at Phoenix.
Outside of the winning in scenario, it looks like the key is where Scott Crump is right now, sitting at 19. If the rule book matches what they are, it looks like he would get 19 or 20 points if he would finish there. So there wouldn't be enough point difference above him to knock him out since he's on the line. Definitely has to be a winning in scenario, though.
It'd have to be a win and in scenario, but if a win is determined to get in, as there are pitting, I was wondering if there was going to be pit stops. There are pitting here with 11 laps to go, so pit stops will help determine this race win. Being able to complete a pit stop without any mistakes. Right now, they are coming down pit road. I haven't seen any of the drivers slide through their pit stops yet. What they determine as far as how many tires to take, if they take any at all, or if it's just going to be fuel for some of them. I'm watching right now Zach Evans, as it looks like he is just taking fuel. Yes, he just took fuel. Dustin Durr had a very good pit stop, as well as Jeff Green and Vincent Isabella. So all of Dustin Durr's team. Zach Evans is around. He made contact with another driver coming out of the pit area there. Spun around, still trying to get it straight. He will essentially be out. Unless if a caution is occurred, he is done for the season. There's no way for him to be able to point his way in, nor can he win with how far back he is at the moment. As there are still a few drivers out on track, still running around. Dustin Durr did have a very good stop that time with a lot of his teammates. So Dustin Durr will still have a very good shot at this win. We still see drivers running around on the track at the moment.
I am hearing that maybe it was really close on fuel, and there may be a few that have been trying to hold it. Alec Balvance maybe want to try to go all the way to the end.
Alec Balvance, one of our drivers that has to win to get in, and the 5 truck, trying to do it on fuel tonight. Running that high lane is not going to help him in that situation, but he also has got Scott Crump out there as well, who is another one of our drivers trying to get in. He's in at the moment, but just so. But right now, he's going to be behind Alec Balvance, and he knows Alec Balvance has to win to get in, as they've caught up to Michael Hozak there. So a lot of strategy playing out here, David.
Especially if you're Scott Crump and you know the guy in front of you, if he wins, he bumps you out. So,
well, not in this situation, because if he gets in, or if he finishes in that position, he will beat Sean Ryan on points. It's top 5, not top 4.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So if right now it doesn't really affect Scott Crump, he just needs to finish in the top 3. He's guaranteed at that point to making it in on points. But with Alec Balvance right in front of him, Alec Balvance's only shot to making it in is to try to make it in on a win. But right now we have a 5-driver lineup right there of trying to, looks like, make it in on fuel. That's Michael Hozak in the 24, Alec Ballvance in the 5, Scott Crump in the 90, Ray Bracey, a good run for Ray Bracey in the 7 truck there in 4th place, and Joshua Hodges in the Texas Pete just got around Ray Bracey, actually. He just took over in 4th place. And then right behind all that, Zach Evans, who spun, but he is teammates with Ray Bracey. He might decide to, if his chances of making it in on the in the chase are over, at least he could try to get a team victory with Ray Bracey. So,
yeah, because Zach's showing in 27th.
Yeah, so keep an eye on Ray Bracey there. It might help him. A lot of these drivers, you see the 5 backing off behind the 24. You do not want to be a leader if you're trying to save it on fuel, because the leader has to go full throttle. So a lot of these drivers behind that 24 are trying to blip the throttle, trying to save as much as they can. That's what the 5 is doing. The one that's going to be saving the most is going to be back there, Ray Bracey in the 7. He's going to be doing the best on saving fuel because he'll have essentially a teammate good on fuel doing nothing but pushing him, so he can really be out of the throttle. So Zach Evans' mistake may be Ray Bracey's saving grace. That's going to definitely help. Michael Hozak has too much of a gapping there, and he can't save anything at the moment the way that this shakes up. So 5 drivers right now trying to make it in on fuel, going back to the pack back there that are racing in case if none of these drivers can make it on fuel. 25 seconds back. Dustin Dirt is leading that group with Chad Thornquist back side by side with him, as well as about the same field of what we had shaping up there. Danny Martinez still trying to race up there. Tate Lytle, Harrison Talon, Jeff Green, Robert Hill Jr., all those drivers are still back there, but 25 seconds back from the 5 truck field up at the front trying to make it in on fuel. And if you look now at the front, they are really spaced out. They are in full save mode. Go on board. Let's see if we can go on board with, let's do Scott Crump here real quickly and see how much he's having to try to save. I'm sure you'll see it. He's out of the throttle. He is not even trying to push up to the drivers in front of him. See Ray Bracey actually getting in front of him right now. So Ray Bracey may feel a little bit more confident on his fuel than Scott Crump. Scott Crump probably is looking at the numbers and seeing he needs to save it now, but he cannot run out of fuel. That would essentially really put him in a bad spot. That might allow some drivers to be able to leapfrog him and knock him out of the chase if one of these other drivers wins to get in. Really, the only driver up here that has a shot at winning out of these 5 drivers is Alec Ballvance in 2nd. Behind the 24 has been doing a good job of saving. Not really been on the back bumper of Michael Hozak. So Alec Ballvance for Racing Point Lemieux is in 2nd there, trying to save the fuel to see if he can be able to make a late race charge for the lead there. So now Michael Hozak to his, I don't know if it's helping or hurting him, but he's got 2 trucks on the outside of him racing him. 4 laps, coming 3 laps to go. They went from 25 seconds back to 17. That's how much these drivers are lifting. They are not even pushing each other right now. They are in full save mode, coming to 3 laps to go. When will it be time for some of these drivers to make a push? Will Alec Ballvance, who's only seen him a couple times up front, is he going to be able to do it on fuel and be able to get himself into the chase with a win on fuel strategy? Fuel strategy / still will have to race because it's not going to just be fuel to determine it. There's 5 of them trying to make it in on fuel. And they're still drafting and a still race going on for those 5 drivers. Now 14 seconds back is the pack. They are gaining 3 to 4 seconds a lap. And as they come around to 2 laps to go, that pack will be oh so close, but still out of reach. The 24 is in. He could not make it in on fuel. Michael Hozak is in. Now Alec Ballvance, without any help of a draft in front of him, now leads the pack with 2 laps to go. Alec Ballvance, in a must-win situation, finds himself leading late in this race. Back behind him, Joshua Hodges in the 57 in the hot sauce truck is now looking to the outside. Is Alec Baldwin's going to allow him to just pass him to be able to stick in behind him and save the fuel necessary? Scott Crump, Ray Bracey still battling side by side behind them. Ray Bracey is able to clear Scott Crump to get into the third place. Will he have enough time to make a run at it? As you see Alec Baldwin slowing down even more. The 57 still out front. As here they come down the front straightaway to take the white flag. The next flag will end it. 11 seconds back is the pack now. When they come across here, we'll see them with only 7 to 5 seconds behind the pack. Scott Crump and them at risk of losing positions to the pack at this moment. As Alec Baldwin is now within a second behind the leader. Will he have enough fuel to make it to the end even? As he is slowing even more. As the 57 now gets out to an even bigger lead. He is now within 2 seconds ahead. So as the 56 got enough fuel, he has nothing to worry about. Unfortunately for Alec Baldwin, his chances of winning are slowly getting out of his grasp as he's barely going 160 down the straightaway. The pack is coming around. They are 6 seconds back. They are gaining even closer. Leading that pack, Harrison Talon, Chad Thornquist. They actually passed right there. It's going to come down to the line. Let's see if we can see the leaders up front. Here they come. Harrison Talon. He's in a must-win situation. Chad Thornquist in front. But here comes Joshua Hodge. And he will win it on fuel at Talladega. As they wreck behind them. It looks like Harrison Talon and Chad Thornquist make contact. Daniel Martinez ends up finishing in third. We will have to go back to points and see where everything lines up at the end of it, because Daniel Martinez gained a bunch of points in this race. So the race finish is not a determination yet of where our drivers are at on points, because there are so many deciding factors. We will have to wait to see when it's all added up. But Joshua Hodges is tonight's winner at Talladega. He is able to save enough fuel to stay in front of the pack. The only one to make it on fuel to stay in front of the pack. So Joshua Hodges does an incredible job saving it. And that Texas Pete is in front and wins it here at Talladega. Woo! I'm a little lightheaded, David.
Yeah, that's a lot. Take a breath. We'll try to figure this all out.
There's so much to still have to figure out. I don't know if the Texas Pete's going to make it back around. He is completely out of fuel. He gave it all he got at the end. He was only 3 seconds in front of that pack. They were so close of catching up to those drivers that saved it on fuel. You see Scott Crump didn't even make it into the top. He did make it into the top 20. 20th is where he finished, Scott Crump did. So went from on the last lap being in third place to fourth place all the way back to 20th place. So rough break for him. Woo! There's a lot going on. Trying to see where some of those other drivers that were trying to save it. Doesn't look like... Yeah, Ray Bracey comes home 7th. Very good run for Ray Bracey. Able to save enough fuel. Did get swallowed up by the pack a little bit, but did come home in 7th place. So Joshua Hodges in first. Daniel Martinez in second. Chad Thornquist ends up running out in third place. And looks like Harrison Talon came home 4th. Mark Rebus in 5th. Tate Lytle in his setup. He actually finishes the Talladega race. He finishes in 6th. Ray Bracey 7th. Jeff Green in 8th. Robert Hill Jr. in 9th. Brent Jones comes home in a top 10. Ethan Stanley did just enough, I believe, tonight to where he has nothing to worry about on points. He finishes 11th and will make it into our final 5. Vincent Isabella in 12th. Cody Harrington in 13th. Tyler Dixon in 14th. Alec Baldwin 15th. Casey Hatch in 16th. Mark Keeler in 17th. Michael Hozak in 18th. You saw him fitting late in that run. Joshua Freed 19th. Scott Crump in 20th. Really interested to see where, once we get past the top 20 here, and see where our Sean Ryan finishes.
24th.
24th. Trey Holmes in 21st. 22nd, Michael Keenan. Zach Evans, unfortunately, comes home 23rd. Sean Ryan comes home 25th. fourth. Dustin Durham must have had an issue because he was running so well there. He finishes 25th. Jeff Sickles in 26th. Uh, Jaden Ramirez in 27th. Brody Moore 28th. Ethan Burrell 29th. Levi Zielinski. All these drivers are lapped down now. Levi Zielinski in 30th. He's out of the running. Tom Bourne or Kendall Noah 31st, Tom Bourne 32nd, Michael Goodman 33rd, Dylan Jones 34th, Sam Batwell 35th, Scott Haney 36th, Cole Merkrat 37th, Alec Vanderstant 38th, and Caleb Clifton in 39th. So the question comes down to it, David. Daniel Martinez and Sean Ryan. Both got really good stage points. And I just don't think that Daniel Martinez had enough points to catch him. He was 44 points behind Sean Ryan.
Yeah, I
I
think
don't.
he would
I
he would
don't.
have had to have Sean scoring like nothing.
I would feel comfortable with listing out these drivers as the ones that finished in the top 5 in points here. So unofficially, our top 5 that will be running for a championship 2 weeks from now at Phoenix will be Tate Lytle, Timmy Holmes, Ethan Stanley, Scott Crump, and Sean Ryan will be the 5 drivers racing for a championship at Phoenix. Those 5 drivers unofficial at this moment, but based off of what both me and David are seeing with points gained and points lost and everything else, and with a non-playoff driver winning tonight, that looks like the top 5 drivers that will make it in. 3 of them on points, even. 2 of them on wins, 3 of them on points. So Ethan Stanley, Scott Crump, and Sean Ryan made it in, we believe, on points for tonight's race.
Well, it looks
Well,
like we don't have the third place. We have a winner.
yeah, let's see if we can get Daniel Martinez up into here. Love to talk to him and get his ideas. He came oh so close to trying to get his way in. Daniel Martinez, it doesn't look like he made it in on points, unfortunately. But it only would have had to have that flag stand being on the other side of the track for you to take home the victory. You came oh so close. You were so strong for the entire run. Aggressive moves to get you up to the front. And when you got up to the front, you made aggressive moves to stay up at the front. But unfortunately, it looks like that aggressiveness kind of did you in, as some drivers were able to stay in the back and save enough fuel to at least stay up in front of you. But you came home second. You can't be too disappointed, but honestly, what else could you have done out there?
Yeah, not much else. Plan coming in was just go all out from the start and did everything I could to get max points, just to give myself the best chance to make it to the championship round. And I knew with like 20, 25 to go, I was pretty much committed just to going hard and not being able to save fuel. And yeah, just unfortunately, we might have gotten to the 57 if the 9 didn't do what he did with like 2 to go. Kind of killed our run for half a lap. So, if that doesn't happen, maybe we do, maybe we don't. But, can't say I didn't give it everything I had, because I sure did.
You sure did, Daniel. I know it's heartbreaking to know that you beat all the drivers you could beat. Uh, that was in front of you, that was in reach. I mean, you did everything you can to be the fastest driver on your strategy, and you can take that home. If it wasn't for it being just 1 lap longer of a race, you would have came home tonight's victor and made your way into the chase. But I mean, does that kind of just play out to show how hard it is in elite to make the playoffs, with how the trucks had it down from essentially 14 drivers going down to 5? It's so difficult. I mean, can you put into words the difficultness of elite's playoff format?
Oh, it's incredibly difficult. Even in the truck series, which is kind of a recruitment series, the talent is still pretty deep, and it showed that, did everything I could today, get as close to max points as I could, and it still wasn't quite enough. But it just makes it that much more meaningful, when you are able to succeed, and, hopefully my day will come up at some point.
Well, you won earlier on in this season. You were a front runner for many, many races. I hope this isn't a discouragement. I hope this is something you could build upon, because overall, from watching it from my point of view, Daniel, it's such a big boost in speed from your side. It was incredible to see. Just some tracks were just where you were a rocket ship and you had it figured out. I think if you could minimize mistakes, I think you'd be right there next season. I hope we get to see you again next season.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and yeah, I hope so too. Thanks.
Well, we'll give it over to you to do your shout outs. You still came home second. I know it doesn't feel like anything to do any kind of victory shout outs, but you still, a second in an elite is still something to be proud of. We'll let you go ahead and do your shout outs for tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, it is, and yeah, big shout out to some of the guys I worked with today: Brent Jones, Tate Lytle, Sean Ryan early on. Racing the Do Good guys was fun. So a big shout out to them. Of course, a big shout out to Ethan Burrell and Pro Edge Racing for letting me drive these bad fast Tundras every race, and big shout out to my mom and my grandfather who watch every race. Can't thank them enough for all their love and support they show me. Thank you guys and all the sponsors with Elite that allow us to put on a show for family and friends to see, and yeah, just thank you guys for what you do to help us put on the show.
Good second place finish, Daniel, and well, you still have one more race to try to get a win in, and try to get multiple wins into your column before the season is out. We'll see you at Phoenix, and hopefully we'll get to talk to you again then.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Well, that goes from heartbreak. Let's see if we can go from heartbreak to victor. Joshua, are you with us? You did just enough to save the fuel. You had it all at the end there. Oh, and he's out. Yeah, let's bring him back in, David. There you go. Joshua, are you with us? Joshua, are you with us? You're muted on our side here. Joshua, are you with us? Hello, Joshua.
Here he goes.
You're unmuted, but we still can't hear you, Josh. You with us, Josh? We'll try you again here. Hello, Josh.
Flashing.
He might have ripped it out when he was celebrating, David. I think I would be jumping out of my seat after saving that much fuel. I don't think I've ever been that good at saving fuel. Josh, we're going to try one more time. Can you hear it, Josh? Yeah. He threw it out the window to save on weight. Yeah, he had to make decisions there. Joshua, are you with us? All right. I don't think we're going to be able to get Josh. Hopefully, maybe he'll come in. We'll leave him in here. Maybe he'll be able to jump in and talk to us before we close out. But overall, David, I got to say, we've got one more race left. It's the most important race. But overall, the chase, all the races we've had up until this point, it's been phenomenal, wouldn't you say? I mean, you're doing broadcasts for other series, but in the truck series, it's every race we have no idea who's gonna come home with the victor and who's the most dominant person. It's truly exciting to watch it all play out. Am I the only lone person in that?
No, it's great. I think because a lot of it is, since our recruitment area, so you have a good blend of new blood, energetic, willing to try things. We also have our insanely talented elite drivers from other series. So I think it's kind of the perfect blend of what.
I agree. Well, we also got to thank the race sponsor here, the Memory Lanes 150. Do Good almost came home with a few of their drivers with a victory. That would have been something that I'm sure their sponsor would have enjoyed, as they're a big part of sponsor for do good. But we got to thank Memory Lanes. The Memory Lanes is the heart of Athens, Wisconsin. Their historic building with a modern day touch, a place where young and old come together. What truly gives Memory Lanes its character is its owner and operator, Randy Big Balls Walters. Always got to throw that in there. It's a bowling alley, if you're wondering. I keep telling them they need to put into the into the description. It's a bowling alley, but we'll see. I read what the prompt tells me, but it's a bowling alley. If you like bowling, you're in Athens, Wisconsin, and you like a guy named Big Bald Walters, then go down there and have some fun. But overall, we have fun tonight, David. We didn't get to talk to our winner there, but maybe we'll get to talk to him again next week at Phoenix. But overall, we saw everything tonight. We saw big, super speedway pack racing. We saw a few crashes, not as many as I thought. We saw green flag pit stops, and we saw fuel strategy come into play, and everything in between. It was everything we wanted and more. And I just can't wait for 2 weeks from now when we're at Phoenix. We have 5 drivers going for a championship. We said no to 4. We decided one more to make it more interesting. We got 5 going for it. And to be honest with you, we got some of the strongest drivers in elite driving in those 5 final spots there. And we'll be on a little bit early, right, David, to do a little breakdown of each driver. And I hope everyone can be able to tune in, because that's what this whole season comes down to. If you thought these drivers raced hard every lap, wait until it's for a championship. And when it comes down to it, I promise you these drivers will be driving harder than they ever had, and will be all there to enjoy it. So hopefully you will join us, as we'll have the $20 roll over until next week, or until the next race for the Dine and Dash Challenge. So another chance for you to try to go out and win $20. Overall, David, I think we're done for the night. I'm going to go rest up my voice after yelling
points
the
just got
entire night.
updated, if you want.
Is it different than what we thought?
Let me see. Got the text in. So yeah, it would be Tate Lytle. This is on points. It's Tate Lytle, Ethan Stanley, Scott Crump, Jimmy Holmes, and John Ryan.
Yep,
for our 5. Yep. And it ended up, the cut was about 12, looks like 8 points. 8 points between Daniel Hernandez, where he ended up behind Dustin Dewar.
Daniel Martinez?
Yep.
Okay.
Or actually, Dustin Dewar ended up 8 behind John Ryan for the.
Okay.
8
yeah,
and 8.
There was a close race at the end, but overall we have our 5 drivers set, and we'll see them at Phoenix 2 weeks from now. This is Gerald Campbell, David Huckleberry. We enjoyed it. We hope you did too, and we'll be back again 2 weeks from now, and we'll be crowning a champion when we do. Thank you, and have yourself